This is a Sports Catastrophe production.
Hey there, Heather Ho, there's Jeff Cody, and welcome you to another Sports Catastrophe Birthday Boy. And the birthday boy for today, August the 19th, is a legendary jockey. He's one of the greatest jockeys of all time. I know that he's technically dead, but I mean, I couldn't find a person who was alive who was a big star for August 19th. But this guy, his story is huge, not just on the racetrack. And for 29 years, he actually was the world record holder for most professional victories by a jockey, by a horse jockey. His story was huge. His name is Willie Shoemaker, or Bill Shoemaker. Sometimes it's known as Bill Shoemaker, and sometimes Willie Shoemaker. But I know him as Willie Shoemaker. Anyway, Willie Shoemaker was born in Fabens, Texas. But he was so small at birth, he was not expected to survive the night. He was only 1 kilogram in weight. He was put in a shoe box on the oven to stay warm. He survived, but was small. At his height, he was 4 foot 10 inches, weighing 91 pounds. Not a lot of sports stars could be 4 foot 10 and all that. But in the world of thoroughbred horse racing, or horse racing in general, it was an asset because, sometimes lighter jockeys made all the difference for their horses to go fast and all that. Anyway, Shoemaker started being a jockey when he was 18 years old in 1949. He would win his first race a month later, April 1949, his first of 8,833 career victories. If you race 10 times and win 10 races in one day, you have to do it 883 days or more than 2 years to do so. However, at the age of 19, he was making so much money that attorney Horace Hahn was made his guardian with the consent of his parents. He would become one of the best jockeys of all time, winning 11 Triple Crowns. Of course, everyone knows in horse racing that the Triple Crown is the Kentucky Derby, the Preakness Stakes, and the Belmont Stakes, as in Kentucky and Kentucky, Preakness in Baltimore, and Belmont in New York. He won 4 Kentucky Derbies, with Swaps in 1955, Tommy Lee in 1959, Lucky Debonair in 1965, and Ferdinand in 1986. In the Preakness, he won the Preakness with Candy Spots in 1963 and Damascus in 1967. At the Belmont, he won with Gallant Man 1957, Sword Dancer 1959, Jaipur 62, Damascus 67, and Avatar 1975. Weird how he only once, and that was with Damascus in 1967, he won 2 races in 1 year. Anyway, Shoemaker broke Johnny Longden's record in 1970 with his 6,033rd race. His record was broken by Lefet Pincate Jr. and then Russell Blaze tied it in 2006. Anyway, his last race was at Santa Anita Park in California, February 3rd, 1990, taking 4th place. He rode in 40,000 races, winning 8,000 of them, so he had a 1 in 5 winning percentage. It was weird, his last race was when he was 59 years old. Anyway, Shoemaker loved racing on Spectacular Bid, who was a great racehorse and all that. So the big race in 1986 at the Kentucky Derby was that Shoemaker was 54 years old and Ferdinand was an 18-1 outsider, meaning that if you bet $1 on Ferdinand, you would get 18 back if he won. So if you bet $20 on Ferdinand, for example, you get $360. Anyway, Ferdinand won the Kentucky Derby, and at 54, Shoemaker became the oldest ever jockey to win the Kentucky Derby. The following year, he rode Ferdinand to a victory over Ali Sheba in the Breeders' Cup Classic, getting Ferdinand Horse of the Year honors. But it's the one race he didn't win was huge. In 1957, aboard Gallant Man, he was looking good and he was winning. But he stood up in the stirrups too soon, thinking that he just passed the last pole. Sadly, though, he didn't. He misjudged the finish line, and then Iron Liege, ridden by famous jockey Bill Hartack, beat him to the line. Gallant did take second, which was good. Unfortunately, Shoemaker's gaffe would be costly. As well, A, he lost the race, and B, he was given a 15-day suspension for standing up in the stirrups too soon. That's a horse racing thing. So he had to miss the Preakness. But he got Galliman to win the Belmont. And racetracks across the world changed their policies and put a bullseye on the final pole to judge, for our jockey to judge that is the final pole and that's the finishing line. So he did what he could. He would train racehorses for 7 years. I was actually involved in a drunk driving crash when he rolled over the Ford Bronco he was driving. He was paralyzed from the neck down and he had to use a wheelchair. Anyway, even though Bill Shoemaker had his blood alcohol at 0.13 above California's legal limit, he didn't accept blame for the crash. He actually sued the California Department of Transportation for not installing guardrails on the highway, and Ford for a faulty vehicle design. Strange as now, Ford actually gave him $1 million. Shoemaker had 3 murder mysteries: Stalking Horse, Fire Horse, and Dark Horse. All featured jockey turned sleuth Coley Kilbrew, using his racetrack experience in and about his restaurant in the horse world. Some say they're just like Dick Francis's books as a jockey. I don't know. But anyway, Shoemaker would die of natural causes at age 72, October 2003. But Bill Shoemaker was born August 19th, and man, when you talk about great jockeys, he's up there. He's really up there. Anyway, I'm Jeff Diamond. I do.